Hello and welcome back to the Bricks Hub. So I did a video a little bit recently and it was about, just asking for some build suggestions like I did before. And one of the first ones I got, you'll be able to see the comment up on screen here, was to build a classic Godzilla. I assume that's what they meant, and yeah, I clarified in the replies. And that was something that's been kind of interesting to me for quite a while. The original 1950s film, I know they re-released it as Godzilla King of the Monsters a little bit later down the line, and they put an American actor in or something like that. I've generally followed a little bit of stuff about this film. I think it's a really good film. There's a lot to it. I'm not sure if you want to be hearing all this in a Lego video, so instead of waffling about that, I'll show you the build that I made. But the build was quite interesting because I wanted to take an approach to make it actually look like a guy in a suit, because that's how the original one works. And I ended up finding it quite a fun attempt. So the tail actually looks a lot nicer than some of the other tails I've done in my other Godzilla mocks, because it really only has one axis of rotation. It just goes up and down, you can see here. Which, yeah, is not great for opposing, but for the old Godzilla tail was very, very rigid. It was very thick. It's got a very blunt end. You can see I've kind of kept that there, and it was quite simple. So I've really enjoyed kind of doing a simplistic Godzilla look, because there's something pretty charming about this, and I've kind of I actually enjoy it a little bit more now, having having looked at it and building it. I've kind of gained a bit of a new appreciation for that old suit. I heard the actor had a terrible time in it though, so thankfully I'm not going to recreate any element of that. And you can't fit a minifigure inside it, unfortunately. But yeah, I was quite happy with the feet, especially he has they're quite blocky, and the claws on are kind of quite high up on the original, so I kind of kept that there, and you can still move them out a little bit here, but the legs don't have any sideways rotation or anything. You can't splay them out or anything, but that was exactly how it worked back then. They just walk, it just kind of walks in a very stiff kind of quite awkward way, but I think it's I think I ended up just going with that, and I really like how it turned out. It uses just simple just the usual connect peg and hole joints, and that'll just mean there's a lot of friction. And yeah, it's if anything, I feel like I might use this leg system for the next time I redesign my Godzilla -1 mini mock, because that kind of walks in a very similar way, a bit of homage to the original. So if it means I can get a bit more detail and a bit more stability, I might go with it. The legs here, you can not the legs, sorry. The arms here, you can see pretty similar to all my other previous Godzilla mocks. They have a bit more posability because it kind of flails his arms around a little bit. I've gone with that. And then for the head, maybe it's a little bit too small, but I've just kind of gone with it. And I put a big white thing in there just to kind of demonstrate the quite goggly eyes that the classic Godzilla had. I did originally experiment with some of the the built-in goggly eyes that Lego has. Lego's got a load of those in the parts inventory, but it just looked too goofy. And I know the original Godzilla design looks a little bit goofy, but I wanted to kind of convey kind of the menace that it still has. Even for such an old design, I think it still has, there's something kind of still quite scary about it. And yeah, I did a similar sort of quite a fun technique actually for the dorsal plates on the back. It's very hard to find a Lego piece that kind of conveys how the dorsal plates are, but I thought this was a fun technique and worked on the back and kind of went down the tail. You can kind of just intersperse these. It doesn't really necessarily matter where you put them. I just had a bit of a play around. You could just make it look a lot neater and just have all of those going down without these, but it's up to you really. So yeah, not really got too much else to show. I'm trying to ramble a bit less in these videos so they're easier to edit and I can make them quicker, because that's, I think I've noticed, is the problem why I don't tend to make videos as often, because the editing takes a while. Yeah, anyway, right, well, tutorial coming up. Just give it a watch. Please watch to the end of the tutorial. I've had a lot of comments recently of people, they all mean well, but saying something doesn't work or something doesn't, usually if you just watch the next step or watch the whole tutorial or just have a look at something again or just rewatch the thing that you did, you'll usually be able to find it and it should work. I verify these, I have to go back on these, and I do have to remake some of the tutorials from time to time, but I usually go through a lot of scrutiny, so chances are it's fine. But if it isn't, still leave me a comment because I always appreciate feedback. So yeah. Okay, well, thank you for watching and have a great day.